Hey, everybody, welcome in the building. Okay, it's the Diva. Sunday night is trending topics. We got stuff to talk about. Listen, I came on a little bit earlier. Today is Sunday, and also because I gotta watch what you call it, the Real Housewives of Potomac. So don't forget on Mondays, me and Royer and I from Royer's World, we recap the Real Housewives of Potomac. And today on Sundays, we do the Braxtons. Okay, so if you're not a subscriber over there at Royer's World, please subscribe to his channel because we stream on both channels when we do these recaps. I see Royer's in the chat. Royer, drop your channel in the chat so that the people are able to go over there, hit your link, and subscribe if they're not already a subscriber. We really appreciate y'all. We work hard on these reviews. We have fun doing it, and we tell the truth, funny. We go play-by-play recap of what happened on the show, okay? And we don't always agree, but we do a show. So listen, guys, like I said, catch us on Sundays in like 4 o'clock time, Eastern Standard Time, for the recap of the Braxtons. And then on Monday, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the recap of the Real Housewives of Potomac. So listen, I'm here with trending topics tonight, and the title is called Abuse of Power. I ain't never in my long-legged life hear about nobody getting no 40 years probations. 40 years? This pastor got 40 years of probation. So 40 years, you got to check in with a probation officer. I ain't never in my life heard of nothing like that ever before. So they pretty much saying if he does one misstep, he will go to jail. That's insanity. So this pastor also owned a dealership, a car dealership, but he was, I guess I could say because he pled guilty, he was defrauding the people. And so when they found out, they charged him, took his butt to jail. At first, he was 10 toes down that he was innocent. But then I guess they put the paperwork before him and said, if you are found guilty and we got all of this evidence right here, you will go to jail for a long time. So he did a plea deal, but this plea deal is nasty. I don't know. I think I would have took my chances maybe going to the court. I don't know. But either way, he got to pay the people back their money, and he got a 40-year probation. Imagine somebody come to you, you meeting them, and they say, you say, well, what's going on in your life? How many kids you got? Do you have anybody? Blah, 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 so forth and so on. He got to tell you about his kids and the fact that he on probation for 40 years. So I guess you never leaving the country. You never going out of town. What the heck? Who you going to marry and you can't even go on vacation with them? Without them checking in with their probation officer, I'll take a pass. But we're going to talk about that pastor. Then we're going to talk about a New York City principal. See, let me tell you something. If you're not used to money, you don't know how to handle money, you don't know how to budget money, or money triggers you in a bad way, you don't need to be over nobody's huge budget. Because it's 9 times out of 10, you're going to do something crazy with it. So this principal in New York, Hollis, Queens, I think she's from, she was using the school funds to purchase books that Damon Dash and his wife wrote, and just giving them money and doing all kinds of craziness. And so now the school district wants her out, and I don't blame them. Listen, these schools be barely having stuff that they really need. So you're going to purchase an abundance of books because your friend wrote it? You throwing them parties and going to fundraisers and all kind of that stuff like that, misappropriating the school funds? No, man, we're not going to have it. You got to go. So we're going to talk about that scandalous principal. And then listen, to this very moment, if I do a Diddy video, one of my little short videos that I do in between me doing like the lives or whatever, I do a Diddy video, people still going back to he's a monster, he slept with men. They don't know nothing, but whatever the case may be. But it's laughable to me that, what's his darn name? Got the whole documentary on Netflix, and it's a joke to him about, how he slept with men and whatever the case may be. And over here, I don't care. Do what you do. It ain't none of my business. As long as you not violating nobody. Charlie Sheen, the name just came to my mind. So Hugh Hefner, they said he was in the Playboy Mansion doing the most. Doing the most. And everybody knew about it. And you better believe, and I gotta say allegedly, that a whole lot of unwanted pregnancies, ODs allegedly, young people allegedly, was all going over there down in that Playboy Mansion. But lucky for him, he never got accused of any crimes, and he left this world being celebrated. People would fight to be on the cover, and I'm talking about celebrities that had nothing to do with the industry, like on that level, were fighting to be in the Playboy magazine. It was an honor to them. It was an honor to people to get selected to be in the Playboy magazine. I am 50 gold. You are correct. Yes, They sure did. That sure did come out. And he wasn't the only one. And everybody knew it. A whole lot of mess and shenanigans went on at that Playboy Mansion. And they ain't never get no raid over there. Messy. But we're going to talk about it. Listen, people, y'all know what time it is. It's time for me to bring the people on in the building. So I need a what in the chat? I need a choo-choo. Hold aboard, everybody. It's Sunday night trending topics, and we got stuff to talk about. The title's called Abuse of Power. We got the pastor, 40-year probation. I was like, what? Okay. We got the New York City principal. We got Hugh Hefner's hidden truths. Okay. Yeah, they want to be in that Playboy centerfold. Yes, they did. And if you go back, there are some very famous names that was in Playboy magazine. It's interesting to me how one person can exploit the whole S industry and somebody else will get destroyed and call all kinds of monsters for doing the same thing, and maybe even on a lesser level than Hugh Hefner. But we're going to talk about it. Hey, in my opinion.
Hey, Diva, choo-choo.
Choo-choo. Hey, Katrina.
Hey, Diva, choo-choo-choo.
All right, y'all. We're going to go ahead and get into it. I'm going to go ahead and start with this pastor, the 40-year probation. I was like, who gets 40 years probation? This is insane. But we're going to talk about it. Let me go ahead and share screen.
He is a pastor and a car dealer who has spent much of the past year behind bars. Now the subject of a 2023 Channel 2 Action News investigation is pleading guilty to theft charges. Channel 2 consumer investigator Justin Gray is here now with the new developments in this story.
Yeah, Linda, it took a lot of negotiation to get Ravecchio Hill to come here and sit down to talk with me about the allegations against him. He told me in that interview that he was innocent, a legitimate businessman, but he admitted something else to a judge this month.
I think you guys are used to dealing with people that run from you guys. I'm not intimidated by you guys.
That was in 2023 when Ravecchio R.A. Hill agreed to answer my questions and repeatedly, emphatically denied any wrongdoing. But this month, he pleaded guilty to felony theft charges in a deal to avoid major prison time. He'll spend 40 years on probation and pay $270,000 in restitution.
It's just so disgusting.
Georgia Nikoja once worked at Hill's Athens car dealership, H&P Auto Brokers.
I just can't believe he got away with that for so long. Like, how do you get away with all of this stuff?
I see some of you would assume that's to be shoes.
that you don't want nobody to know about.
While spending Sundays preaching from the pulpit, Hill also ran this used car dealership. Families in our original Channel 2 Action News investigation allege that they either paid Hill for a car they never received or used their identities to buy vehicles for himself. Stephanie Downey thought someone stole her car. It was actually repossessed by the lender.
I was paying him the money, but he wasn't paying the loan company.
You didn't forge any documents. And you won't say yes or no? You didn't forge any documents?
I don't even know.
I mean, I can say I have never forged any documents.
Yeah. And I'm going to say I don't even know what documents you're talking about, so I wouldn't be able to forge a document.
Well, I mean, I can just say I've never forged a document, period.
I don't know any documents that will have me that I forged.
Okay. But the current plea deal does not address those forgery charges I was the first to tell Hill about. That separate felony case is still open and still active.
This is something that he's a professional at, you know? Everybody has a profession or they're good at something.
And so if Hill does not pay the restitution to the victims, he'll be sent back to jail for a 5-year sentence. And that's not the end of this. Athens Clark County still has a separate felony forgery case against him. And we also checked warrants in Gwinnett County, where this outstanding criminal arrest warrant exists, also for theft by deception related to a vehicle loan. We'll continue to follow it, George.
What a disgrace. Okay, so now let me share screen again. So Athens business wait, hold on, my screen is shaking. 1 second, guys. All right, I don't know what happened real quick. Just give me a second. There we go. Athens businessman and pastor gets 40 years probation to pay nearly $270,000 in restitution. A Northeast Georgia man who promotes himself as a pastor and a businessman received 40 years probation on Thursday after he pleaded guilty to deceiving 4 people $1,000. Rebecca Amwan R.A. Hill, 38, into guilty pleas to 4 counts of felony theft by deception in Clark County Superior Court. Superior Court Judge Lawton Stephens imposed a sentence that was proposed through a plea bargain between Western Circuit Assistant District Attorney Victoria Goff and his defense attorney, Ken Stevens. As part of the sentence, 9 other counts of felony theft by deception were dismissed. The sentence also requires that Hill pay what the judge described as a significant amount of restitution to the victims. Although Hill declined to make a statement about his crimes, he and his lawyer assured the judge he could pay the restitution in installments over a period of time. Ken Stevens said his client plans to pay it as quickly as possible. The 40-year sentence included 5 years in prison, but was suspended upon his beginning payments of restitution. Hill was arrested in early 2024 following an extensive investigation by Athens Clark police officer Nathaniel Franco. Had to use a walker to stand before the judge in court, and previous hearings is noticed that he had health issues. Hill has a Commerce address and resides in Bates County, according to police reports. The judge noted that Hill had 4 prior felony convictions, 2 for impersonating police officers in early 2000, a forgery conviction in 2013, and a false statement in 2016 in Jackson County. He was also brought before the Superior Court in Athens in 2008 for a probation violation regarding one of his impersonation convictions. The deception charges briefed in the indictment involved a company owned by Hill and HP Auto Brokers on Baxter Street in Athens. The indictment shows people would make investments with Hill by borrowing money mostly through a credit union for vehicles, some of which were supposed to be for a rental car business. The guilty plea came just days before a trial was scheduled for Hill. Last week, the prosecutor filed a motion showing that during the trial, the state planned to introduce evidence of Hill's business practices through testimony from the financial companies Trust, Wells Fargo, and Digital Federal Credit Union. During the sentencing, the judge said Hill had flat out lied to the victims and took their money. Hill was found guilty by a trial jury in Elbert County in 2022 on fraud and deception charges, but sentencing in that case had been delayed while the conviction still remains under appeal. During the pretrial stage of the case in Athens, Hill has been represented at times by 3 lawyers. Adam Levine, his attorney in 2024, sought to withdraw as counsel, and his motion was approved by the judge. However, recently, both Ken Stevens and co-counsel Fredrell Green also filed motions to withdraw as his lawyer, but Judge Stevens denied both requests. The motions did not detail why they wanted to withdraw. Probably because this man is a straight up liar and they were sick of dealing with him. And probably also he didn't have the money to pay them. A hot stinking mess. In my opinion, your thoughts?
See, this is why our criminal system is flawed. And you got people out here that you can legally put in jail that con people out of their money. This is despicable that he's getting no jail time. I don't understand this. I really don't. Our law system needs to be really uprooted.
It needs revamping for sure, because it's just is not fair at all. Savannah, your thoughts?
So this is a professional con man. I don't, carrying the title of pastor first, that's a little bit too much. I see this as a professional con man. So he was convicted of impersonating a police officer, which I believe that's a felony. And not once. Did you say separate incidents, Diva? Or he? So not once.
It was separate. This man has done the most. In 40 years probation is just shocking to me. And then you suspend the 5 years. How is he going to get where's he going to get the money to pay back $270,000?
No, and see that I'm going to give him the benefit. I think he has that because he's such a slick con man that I think he has that. And being a car dealer, I'm going to give him the doubt that he has the 270. I don't think he wants to pay restitution, but I think that he has the 270. But he is a straight up con man, and then he's going to pull a Harvey Weinstein by coming in with a walker. And now he has health issues. I need the justice system to go back and really redo and relook at this, because I wish we would have got some more information about the victims that lost money to this con man. And did he use the church as a lure or a shield? I just think there's more to this story, and this man definitely belongs to. He at least should be doing at least 5 years in jail for what he has done to the community.
And then all the other stuff that he did. I mean, how was they keep letting him out? It's just, this is crazy. And the fact that all of his lawyers keep wanting off the case and want to drop him, that's a whole nother story in and of itself too. It's just bananas. Katrina, your thoughts?
Hey, Diva. Hey, panel chat. I'm upset that Vera is still locked up over some chicken. Look what this man did. First of all, you in a church pretending to be a preacher, pretending to be a church-going person, and deceiving people. That's why I tell people Satan know the Bible just as well as Jesus does, because he was right there in it. He's the type of people that we be talking about. Then you got a car dealership. You bilking people out of that. The people paying you, and you taking their money, and the folks come and getting their car. So you double dipping as well. This is ridiculous. There's no way. And I'm not all for people being locked up or anything like that. But a person like that, you deceive many people. I don't understand why people kept going to his church, knowing the stuff that he was doing. I mean, I don't understand it at all. And it's the same thing as we say before. We could talk about Jamal Bryant, but he's the only mega church that I've seen or heard about trying to donate money to help these people with these SNAP benefits. I haven't heard any other mega churches, but we did hear of him. And to have these people out here cunning, these people probably paying their tithes to this church. Then they go into your dealership because you are their pastor, so they thinking they getting a good deal, and you deceiving them, and it's that as well. And then you got 40 years of probation. So basically, if he pay out that 272, they're going to lessen his probation, and he's not doing no jail time because when you on probation, if you pay off that restitution, they will lower your years with your probation. So if he pay that out, he's not going to be on no 40 years probation. But they gave him that long stint because he probably told the people that he don't have it, which he's lying. He is a liar. This is what we talk about, giving your money to these darn thieves, because that's exactly what he is. He's no preacher. I wouldn't consider myself even calling him a pastor. You're not a pastor. You're a deceiver. And you're the type of people that make people don't want to go to church. This is ridiculous. But that's all I got.
Thank you. Wayne, your thoughts?
You know, my thing is that if he says he has the money, how come they can't seize it? I mean, why do they have to wait for him to get it? He said he has the money.
No, he
So
never said
why
he had.
can't-
He never said he had the money. He said he will pay back the money in installments, and he started paying it back right away, and that's why they didn't lock him up.
So he's getting the money from somewhere. If this man been a crook all this time, I don't think he got all that money in the bank. I think he probably got somebody else's name on the money or whatever, you know, and he gonna come up with that money. I think he's gonna come up with that money, but still, I mean, not to serve no jail time, but at the same point that if like if you're a victim and the judge has ordered him to pay the money back, well, he can't pay it back if he's in jail.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're a victim, you might be like, okay, well, if the judge said he got to pay it back, at least I'm gonna get my money back, because I certainly can't get it back if he's in jail. So it's like, half a dozen one, half a dozen the other. If he got the money stashed somewhere offshore or whatever, and pay these people their money back, and then 40 years probation, that's a long time to be looking over your shoulder. I'm done.
It's a long time. That's just crazy to me that it's a 40-year probation, but we'll see how this ends up going. I'm going to go ahead. Tara, thank you so much for your super chat. I truly appreciate you and always supporting the channel. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I'm going to go ahead and roll into the next story. Hold on one second, guys. Let me just... All right, so I'm going to go ahead and roll into the next story. So the next story is this, what is it? I might as well go into this principal. This principal who, using the school funds to do whatever she want with it, which is crazy. Let me share a screen. Now, I don't feel sorry for the man either. And it's something with him that both his lawyers was like, all the lawyers he get, they're like, no, please release us from our duties. We don't want to, represent him. So a New York City principal under probe, she showered taxpayer funds on pals, including Jay-Z's bankrupt ex-manager and wife. And they're talking about Damon Dash. Now, why they put Jay-Z name in this story, I don't know. A Queens principal who counts former Jay-Z manager Damon Dash and his wife as close pals turned her school into a slush fund for friends. Whistleblowers charged. Anisha Jacko, a PS5, Nathaniel Woodhall in Hollis has spent tons of thousands in taxpayer funds to buy books published by pals. Let me see, where am I at? Published by pals, hired others as consultants, and boldly tooted her brands on a sprawling lobby memorial that is practically a billboard, Stafford said. It absolutely blows my mind that she will still be allowed to run our school, a faculty member said, a principal who took PS35's helm in October 2020. So that is her with Damon Dash. That's Damon Dash, current wife, and that's his little son. The Special Commissioner of Investigation for City Schools has been probing complaints about Jacko's spending for more than 3 years, spokesperson Jason Brooks confirmed. The case is still open. The case is still open, and therefore the SCI cannot comment, he said. Officials have not accused Jacko of any criminal wrongdoing. The SCI issued a report in 2022 faulting Jacko for granting excess overtime to a teacher she favored, costing $10,500 in improper payments. The independent agency referred 3 other complaints to the City Department of Education to investigate. Now, that is the principal on my, I guess you would say, right? That is Damon's Dash wife, I want to say. Is that her there? I think that's her on the left, right? I think. Jacko's closest associates include Dash, who is Jay-Z's ex-business partner and co-founder of Rockefeller Records, and Dash wife Raquel Horn. Dash, a controversial figure who overcame drug dealing in his youth, recently filed for bankruptcy to avoid a $5 million in lawsuit debts. He currently owes New York $2.1 million in back taxes. Horn last visited the 642 student PS35 in February to celebrate her new book, Dusko Goes to Sea. Jacko used school funds to buy some 500 copies, which retail for $14.95 each in paperback, according to insiders familiar with the purchase. In 2022, the school brought similar box loads of Horn's first book, Dusko Goes to Space. The total cost could not be learned. Dash defended the purchases and blasted the SCI probe. There's a budget for them to buy books, so why is it a problem? He asked the Post, saying PS35 tested the books first and found them beneficial. I think it's a racist thing that she's even being looked at and scrutinized, he said. It's just because she's a Black woman that has good reading scores in her kids and gets more for her money. She's trying to help these kids learn how to read. That's the memorial that they put up, that she paid to have put up in the school. Everything is right about you, feeling your feelings. On the state's reading exams last year, 40% of PS35 students in grades 3 to 5 tested proficient, below the 47% citywide average, the DOE reports. On Jacko's Instagram account, the principal cites a paid partnership with Poppington Clothing and Dame Dash Studios, the embattled mogul's apparel line and music company. Dash said the studio dissolved several years ago and no partnership exists. Jacko used school funds to pay Poppington LLC $10,000 on March 9, 2022, according to school records revealed by the Post. The purchase was for t-shirts, Dash said, adding that he sold the clothes to Jacko at cost so she could get more for her money. Jacko's Instagram photos show the principal with Dash and Horn in social settings, including a birthday celebration at their home in Queens with the hashtag family in the caption, and a visit to Legoland theme park with their kids. Of course, once you start doing business with somebody, you get to know them, Dash said. So we know her, but the only way we know her is from her educating us and telling us how to help her. Dash said he met Jacko through educational consultant Dennis McKenzie, founder and CEO in Our Best Interest and All School Grounds, companies working with principals to reform urban education. School records show $49,100 in payments to In Our Best Interest LLC in early 2022. Staffers say Jacko hired McKenzie at least 2 years in a row before the SCI probe began. Nobody knew what the hell he did for us, a teacher said. There were no visible signs that this man was helping our school in any way. He was hardly ever there. Jacko's Instagram page features many photos and videos suggesting a friendship with McKenzie along with Dash. The OSG website, currently down, promoted Jacko's book, Audacity to Speak, Finding the Power to Be Your Most Authentic Self, which she self-published in 2022. Mackenzie declined to comment on his role at the school. Jacko also favored A. McCarthy, a fellow member of Delta Sigma Phi, an African-American service sorority, tapping the school's budget to buy 100 copies of her book, Reaching for the Stars, 10 Secret Steps to Connecting with Celebrities and Building Your Brand, all for PS 35 fourth graders, Insider said. The book encourages students, no specific age recommended, to reach out to celebrities and learn about their careers. Jacko paid McCartney nonprofit Young Faces Smiling $26,877 in 2020 school. 2. School records show. Other purchases records show, including a jaw-dropping 1,285 books by Jacko's friend Brianna Greenspan. One purchase order lists 435 copies of Everything Is Right About You, with 3 different subtitles, 200 copies of I Am the Best Me, 630 copies of The Miracle Morning Art of Affirmations, which is a $20 coloring book, and 35 copies in Spanish. Jacko used school funds to pay Sussman Education, Inc., which publishes those books, $61,000 in early 2022, the records show. She hardly buys any other books for children to read, a teacher said of the master's purchase. Instagram photos show Jacko and Greenspan as chums, in one smiling side by side in a hair salon captioned Sunday Fun Day in Queens. According to the DOE procurement rules, employees who spend taxpayer dollars shall encourage competition, prevent fraud, favoritism, and corruption, and attain the best value in the interest of the DOE and the taxpayers. Irking insiders, Jacko had a vast mural painted in the school lobby, which displays the titles or words from books by Greenspan, McCarthy, and another friend, Amen's Roz Revolutionary, and the letters OSG, Horns Dusko, and the logo of Horns YouTube channel, Applefish Kids. This is free advertisement for your friends with taxpayer dollars, a staffer complained. PS35 staffers who spoke to the Post requested anonymity because they fear retaliation. DOE spokeswoman Nicole Brownstein refused to answer any questions about Jacko. The principal did not reply to our request for a comment. Well, she need not reply because this is craziness. This is insane. She wasting the taxpayer dollars. In my opinion, your thoughts?
Well, she wasn't gonna apply because guilty people they can't apply. They can't say nothing. What can she say? Yeah, I'm guilty of helping my friends out. She ain't gonna do that. Here's the thing: she knew what she was supposed to do when she took the job, and she decided to do what she wanted to do. So she gets the consequences that she's gonna get. She's a con artist too. It should have been called Con Artist Sunday.
Oh God! Oh my God! Savannah, your thoughts?
Diva, I'm at a loss for words with this story. Did she do all this just to say she had the connections, or was it for likes and clicks and views on Instagram so she could take pictures with these people? Like, what's the purpose of doing this?
I really feel like she was buying their friendship. 61.
That's what it seemed like to me.
From one person?
For Damon Dash can barely even put a sentence together. Like, I don't see him as the smartest. This makes her just as I don't know. I'm so confused. I was like, where did this come from? And then to spend that much money of the school budget, knowing how things are out here, and she's been doing this for years, and they're just catching it.
Since 2020. See, you know what though? What I thought these schools, I shouldn't be able to sign off on something on my own. Yeah, his wife wrote the books, but I shouldn't be able to sign off on something on my own, especially if the purchase is over a certain amount of money. They should have a threshold. They should say anything over 2,000 or 3,000. Many people have to sign off on it. This is egregious. And then she had painted up with the people's logos and their YouTube channels. This woman lost her mind with the taxpayer dollars.
Just so she could be that girl.
Yeah.
That I mean,
Was she sending the kids
I'm
home with
so
these
like,
books?
but
Because
in
why
New York City, I don't.
copies of the same book in one school? Did the kids get to go home with a book? Like every time she made these purchases, were they going home with a free book?
Now you know she gave some of them books to her
They
friends and
were having
family.
a course on it.
Mm.
Because they were having a course on it, I wouldn't see why they would have. It's not like it's Oprah's Book of the Month Club or something. I'm so out of, and you know, Katrina's going to say something about Vera and the chicken. This is absolutely just stupid. Whatever she gets, she deserves 2 times fold. I don't understand how. Yes, get me, Diva. I'm so mad at this story.
Katrina, your thoughts?
You know it's Savannah. Free Vera. Vera had some got the chicken that had the bone in it, and no school served chicken with bone, so they know what they was doing. But this woman right here, she wants to be with you, keep writing a book, telling kids how to be get celebrities to tell them how to become a celebrity. Later, are you insane? And then the thing of it is, you using the school money. What was the secretary? I thought the secretary and the bookkeeper are supposed to go through all this stuff before they sign off on all this money and stuff like that. And then these kids, you saying you bought these books so these kids can read, but the kids is 40% below the reading level. So what did you accomplish? Nothing but lining your pockets and your friends' pockets. Them kids ain't reading them books. Because if they reading the book, they reading level will be up. She's a con artist, as in my opinion Savannah said. All of them. They just don't make no sense. You taking from the children. Think about how many kids could have ate free lunch or something like that you put on these books that these kids ain't gonna probably remember. This is ridiculous, and for the school system not to say anything for all this time. Be for real. This is ridiculous. And then you wonder why our kids are suffering and not reading and not learning and not progressing because we got people like this that's blocking them. That's all I got.
Wayne, your thoughts?
You know, I don't think she just, for somebody to do something like this for this long, 2, 3 years, whatever, they're benefiting financially from it. Whether it's on the back end, I pay you this much, and under the table, you give me back this much. So I don't think she did it just for notoriety. I think she got paid. You're not gonna be around all that money, that kind of money, and not want some of it. Find a way to get some of it. So I don't think this is just that, she did friends favors, so forth and so on. She was getting paid. And whatever she gets, she gets.
Julius, your thoughts?
I'm just coming on to the train, so I'll wait for the next one.
Sounds good. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and roll into this last story, and it's Hugh Hefner's Hidden Truths, is what I titled it. But let's get into it. So party's over. Well, it's funny the party is over now that he's no longer here, but whatever. So party's over. Inside the Playboy Mansion. Oh, wait, let me just pause this one minute. Inside the Playboy's mansion with Daddy Hugh Hefner's degrading sex rituals, A through D grading, and block pipelines. According to the former Playboy bunnies, Hugh Hefner would watch the P stuff, smoke weed, and pleasure himself while his girlfriends cavorted in front of him. Okay, so many people was saying, "Oh my God, it's so disgusting" when they heard about what Diddy did. This unfortunately is what they do out there in Hollywood.
My hair was really long naturally, and I was just like, I'm gonna go chop my hair off so I can at least look a little different. I came back with short hair, and he flipped out on me, and he was screaming at me and said it made me look old, hard, and cheap.
Just a little bit into Hugh and his little world. So it was the ultimate pad. Thousands of young girls dreamed of dreamed of ending up in. But behind closed doors, the reality of being a Playboy bunny at Hugh Hefner's twisted mansion wasn't as glamorous as portrayed on The Girls Next Door. Remember when he had that show? So in the 2000s, the brand was iconic, even featuring on E, the same network as Keeping Up with the Kardashians. The lavish multi-million-dollar mansion based in Los Angeles and featuring 29 rooms was the place to be. Former bunny Bridget recalled, everyone wanted to be there. Every celebrity, every girl that I knew of wanted to be a part of it, wanted to be a playmate, go to parties, she said. She previously shared on a podcast. They had the best parties in the world there. It was a place that you wanted to go and you wanted to be seen and you wanted to be a part of that whole lifestyle. Indeed, the pad, which the American publisher purchased for $1 million in 1971, was a party spot for a list of A-listers: Leonardo DiCaprio, Jim Carrey, Cameron Diaz, and George Clooney. However, behind all the glitz and the champagne, the Playboy bunnies and Hugh's many girlfriends and wives were stuck in a living nightmare. Three of the most well-known bunnies are Bridget, 52, Holly Madison, 45, and Kedron Wilkinson, 40, who have since been vocal about their time at the star-studded villa where the late magazine publisher lived until his death in 2017. From an A through D system to grade their looks, to Daddy Hefner's humiliating sex rituals, here's the dark reality the former bunnies allegedly had to endure at the Playboy Mansion. Sordid confections of degrading sex rituals. With its fluffy carpets, pink walls, and even a zoo to the outside world, the Playboy Mansion sounds like a fun-filled wonderland for adults. But those playmates who have spoken out about their time in the sick mansion have made it pretty clear it wasn't all fun and sex games. According to Holly, who was living rent-free at the pad, the mogul offered her a quaalude when she first moved in, telling her in the 70s they used to call these pills thigh openers. Okay, so you want to talk about Rico and all that other stuff? Here you have it. 1 second.
Supplier. I was emotionally abused, financially abused, controlled, physically controlled. He would tell me what to look like, what to wear, how to act. He gave us some money, but never enough to be able to leave. I heard Hef come up on speakerphone and he said, "Oh, if Crystal tries to leave, detain her." It's like, oh, I'm actually trapped. I'm watching some old interviews and some media I've done have pulled some up of Hef speaking about everything. And one of them, he had 7 girlfriends and it went down to 3.
Number you have dialed is not.
At first, young Holly said no, the drugs, but couldn't refuse later when she was told it was time to go to Hefner's bedroom. There, the woman was expected to perform for him, and one of the other girls pushed Madison towards Hefner. There was zero intimacy involved, no kissing, nothing, Holly wrote. It was so brief that I couldn't even record what it felt like beyond having a heavy body on top of me. Holly, who was 21 when she became a playmate, offered a bleak picture of her time in her book Down at the Rabbit Hole, Curious Adventures and Cautionary Tales of a Former Playboy Bunny. She claimed Hefner, who died of sepsis age 91 in 2017, would watch pee, smoke weed, and pleasure himself while his girlfriends cavorted in front of him after being ordered to dress in identical nightwear. Holly also revealed romps with the Playboy King was certainly not something to write home about. She said there was zero intimacy involved, no kissing, nothing. It was so brief that I can't even recall what it felt like beyond having a heavy body on top of me. Former bunny Kendra Wilkinson revealed on ITV, I'm a Celebrity, Get Me Out of Here, that she slept with Hefner when she was 18 and he was 78. Writing in her book, Being Kendra, Cribs, Cocktails, and Getting My Sexy Back, she said, I had to be very drunk or smoke lots of weed to survive those nights. There was no way around it. At about the minute mark, I pulled away and it was done. It was like a job, clock in, clock out. It's not like I enjoyed having sex with him. Daddy's in the bedroom. Hugh was married 3 times, was the man at the mansion's helm, and according to the former playmates, he even had an unnamed girlfriend recruiter who lined up the young woman he brought to live with him in his Hollywood home. When Holly was first at the mansion, she believed she would be nothing more than a sidekick, but things quickly took a sour turn on her very first night. Recording the grim experience, Holly said the unidentified woman had turned to Hugh and said, "Daddy, you want to get the new girl?" The Playboy millionaire, who was known as the godfather of the sexual revolution, then had sex with Holly in front of the rest of his girls. She explained, and the next thing I knew, he's on top of me, and I'm like, okay, so that happened. I was laying at the end of the bed because later on, like, things would get so routine, like he wouldn't move. He'd be like a bump on a log, she added. Hinting he would often lie on the bed while the girls took turns having sex with him. While many have since wondered why Holly didn't leave right away, the now mom of one revealed she was stuck in limbo. But you have to understand, like, if I were to just leave, I'm going back to my problems of not having a place to live, Holly said. Facts, girlfriends versus playmates. Rumor has it that Hugh Hefner would have two to a dozen girlfriends living with him at a time. These girlfriends are not to be confused with playmates. Each girlfriend had their own room, but one special lady was named as girlfriend number 1 and stayed with Hef in his room. Each girlfriend received a $1,000 weekly bonus allowance. Hef's wild side to Playboy Mansion was his home to a private zoo. It was one of the very few private residences actually had a zoo license. Hefner was a fan of birds. Among his collection, many of which roamed the grounds, were peacocks, macaws, flamingos, toucans, and ducks. The Elvis legend. Within the mansion was a secret room called the Elvis Room. Legend has it that the king himself, Elvis Presley, had a little slumber party in the room with up to 8 eager bunnies. Many wanted to make it into the villa, and those who did were subjected to shocking grading system and fat shaming by Hugh. To land yourself a spot at the glam pad, women had to be of a certain age, and there was a limit too. There was definitely a thing at Playboy, Holly previously said. I feel like the unspoken cutoff age for like a playmate was 28. Women and potential bunnies were also allegedly graded from A to D after they had Polaroids taken of them. D, you're not invited back. C, you may be on the big party list. B, you are on all the party lists. A, you get invited to the pool parties and stuff like that, Holly revealed. Kendra also revealed how the sick mobile once targeted her over her appearance, saying, we were all in the limo on the way to book a signing with Hef when he pulled me aside. Is everything okay? He asked. I feel fat, Hef, I told him. Everyone is so pretty. It's making me really insecure. Well, you look a little bigger, he said honestly. Maybe you can go to the gym. Perhaps it then comes as no surprise that bulimia ran rampant. In fact, the eating disorder was widespread among the bunnies that the villa had to be reconstructed regularly. There was a lot of bulimia in the mansion to the point where people would end up in the hospital sometimes, to the point where the bathroom pipes had to be replaced, Holly said. Oh my gosh. You need to take it off right away. It wasn't just sex that was regulated. Holly soon found she was being controlled in other ways too. The former bunny, who was 53 years, Hughes Jr., claimed the late magazine publisher preferred the playmates with longer hair, and once screamed at her after she had cut her hair after she had cut her once long tresses. While reflecting on her time at the Playboy Mansion in a sneak peek of A&E's documentary series, Secrets of the Playboy, Holly shared the sour memory of Hugh Hefner. She said, "I got to a point not too far into my time there. I think it was like 6 months in, where I kind of broke under the pressure, being made to feel like I had to look like everyone else. My hair was really long naturally, and I was just like, I'm going to chop my hair off so I can at least look a little different. Holly didn't record his reaction to a new hair sharing. I came back with short hair, and he flipped out on me. Bridget, who's since engaged to film director Nick Carpenter, reiterated how tough Hugh would be on Holly during their time at the mansion. She said Hef would be pretty abrasive in the way he said things to Holly. She came down with a red lipstick one night and he flipped out and said he hated red lipstick on girls and told her, you need to take it off right away, even though other people could wear red lipstick and it didn't seem to bother him. It was very frustrating to live every day, all of the drama that was going on in the tensions. I could definitely see that she was getting depressed and sad, and her demeanor was starting to change. Listen, this mansion, more went on than they ever went on in them hotels. And what did they call? What was them darn things called with Diddy?
Freak offs.
The freak offs. Thank you, Julius. The freak offs and the hotel nights. It was going down at that mansion. A hot stinking mess. And everybody knew. The police knew. They all knew. In my opinion, your thoughts?
So, don't get me started on this one. Okay, I know a little bit about all this because I watched Kendra on Top, and Kendra kind of talked about her time there. But Kendra also told us a little secret. You know what I'm saying? Some of these girls that's out here saying they wasn't with it before, they was with it to the point where they were abusing other girls, trying to get them kicked out for the attention of him. Here's the thing. The thing about I guess the thing that's different in this case that is every other case is they knew what they was getting into going in. He made them sign this contract because Kendra talked about it. She told them that they couldn't gain more than 25 pounds, what they could and couldn't do to keep they finances up. When they had to be ready to give him some, you know what I'm saying? When they had to be ready to service his guests. She said it was all laid out. So she knew what she was getting into it when she got there. She said, but other girls want your cut, but then too try to take your, try to, set you up for the failure. And one of those people was Holly.
Oh.
So she's saying her sad side story now that he's gone. But all while he was here, and if you watched his show, you would know she was the main one that was right up under him the whole time he was alive. It's only now that he's gone, she's telling all these sad side stories. So she get what she get. I don't trust her. But Kendra kind of told me, they kind of knew what they was getting into because he laid it all out for them.
Thank you, in my opinion. Savannah, your thoughts?
Yep, I agree completely with, in my opinion, I do not have any empathy for none of these women. They all knew that he was gross. He was misogynistic. He was all about the corn and that was his industry. But these women lined up, allowed themselves to be utilized in whatever fashion he wanted. Because if he wanted them to go with friends, they would go with friends. They would do whatever Hugh wanted in order to stay in that house. If you didn't comply by his rules, then you go to this other house that he had on the property. Because that was part of the show. These women were backstabbing each other. I thought the show was something like The Girls Next Door or something like that. That I remember these three girls that they were all fighting for his attention and backstabbing each other, and the new ones that came in. So these women all knew what they were signing up for. They enjoyed it. They did it. They lived for the perks, and for the Gucci bags and the Pradas, and they did what they wanted to do. And Diva, I do recall that the Playboy Mansion did get raided at some time.
Oh, it did?
I think that was in one of their, I do recall that the mansion got raided. I think there was also allegations of a actual SA where the police investigated it, but that was way back. And when he was still around and alive and doing his thing, his own son used to talk about how abusive his dad was, and how women would just line up around the door and allow their son their selves to be utilized for his pleasure. So I recall his son when he passed, and the son did interviews about his father and why he never was at the mansion. But I don't know what the purpose of her coming out speaking now. The just I think Hugh was bigger than Diddy's situation because everybody was there. Every celebrity, every law enforcement officer, every um, athlete, they all went through the Playboy Mansion, and that was going on since Studio 54. So I don't know. I think this is these women want attention now, or want to, just like Cassie. None of them are victims.
I wonder how many allegedly STDs he must have had. Yuck is all I could think. Julius, your thoughts?
Okay, so I'm just ready to sound off. Holly can go sit her little Miss Perfect self down. Let's just keep it real. I was a viewer when Girl Next Door was on E, and she was a all out witch to Kendra. I remember very well. Bridget, she was on the low with it, but she was a witch too. And the thing about it is, Kendra was the youngest, the most inexperienced, everything else. And I remember, like, when she left and stuff like that, even though Hank Basket, he had his own issues. But when she met him and they got married and they had the baby and stuff, Hef was genuinely happy for her. She said that himself, and so did Hank. Um, Holly, yeah, I have no sympathy for her. Um, she was with the get down, with the get down. She was with all the shagadelic, everything else. And it's like I am Gold said in the chat. It wasn't until the girl he was with when he passed, Crystal, when she came into the picture, that's when Holly started to feel salty. So I don't feel sorry for her. And Bridget, she another one. She needs to sit down too.
Katrina?
Yeah, Diva. Everybody know what went down in the Playboy Mansion. I mean, from the 70s to the 80s, the cocaine and the guests, um, the movie stars. Everybody went to the Playboy Mansion. And when he was talking about the Quaaludes and stuff, it's along with Bill Cosby. They met him at the Playboy Mansion. You 15 and 16 years old. What are you doing at the Playboy Mansion? You know what I'm saying? And then you coming back saying this happened. But everybody knew what went down at the Playboy Mansion. My thing is they need to dig him up and put him on put him on trial
Not
because but they said dig him up, girl. And because what they said that he did, isn't it the exact same thing they said Diddy did? So I mean, come on. And everybody, like I said, everybody knew what went down there. Just like when people go to Diddy parties, everybody know what's going on with the Diddy party. You going there because you want to be there. Ain't nobody making you go. You there. And like I said, that man, you going there because you want to be there. You want to be play bunny of the month or centerfold of Playboy centerfold, or you want the spread or whatever. You wants to be there because that's what you wants to do. And then when you age out, you get mad with the other ones that coming behind you because he's not into you anymore. So they all in there want to sleep with that little wormy man, and he wasn't even giving them that much money. So I don't even see the reason for it unless you just want to be with somebody that was famous, because I don't get it. But anyway, it's to each his own. And no, I don't feel sorry for them because, like I said, they went there on their own will. Kendra, you 18 years old. Your mom meeting this old man as your boyfriend, and he got two other women's with him. Y'all some sick little puppies. But like I said, good luck to all of them. But they knew what they was getting into when they did it. That's all I got.
Wayne, your thoughts?
These playmates wasn't nothing but high class whores. Just like you say, would I expect to see you there? No. But would you expect to see a bunch of hoes there? Yeah. It wasn't their husbands. It wasn't their boyfriends. They wasn't married. They was hoes. And they got paid for it.
Mm.
No, they wasn't prostitutes, because prostitutes, those high-class prostitutes, they write the rules. These women didn't. They was just hoes. And they got paid for it. They wanted to be hoes. That was the desire to be a playmate. What y'all thought y'all gonna do? Play checkers?
Mm.
Wasn't nobody holding a weapon to your head or anything to stay there. You went back over and over and over and over again. And now it's
Speak, Mr.
2025.
Wayne, speak.
Now it's 2025, and this is how they classify hoes.
Mm.
So when they go back in the history books and find out what Hugh Hefner did, and the women that were there that were so-called, playmates, but they was high-class hoes. I have no empathy for them. You walked in with your eyes wide open. You wanted to please this man. You wanted all the accolades, whatever you need to be. Y'all found out y'all wasn't nothing but high-class hoes.
Mm. Well, then there's that. I want to close out. I want to close out. Do y'all remember that young lady that claimed the guys hit her with a brick, and then there was a GoFundMe, and then people were saying that it wasn't true, that she lied
Because they wanted her phone number and nobody hit her with a brick. Yeah.
right, and nobody hit her with a brick. Well, she was convicted. Let me just share real quick. I mean, these people wanting to go viral is insane to me. And now she paying the piper. She paying the price.
And with some late breaking news, Fox 26's Sherman DeSalle joining us live from the newsroom now with what's going on here. Sherman.
Yeah, so there's a few top stories that we're looking at. GoFundMe schemers found guilty tonight. Car crashes into a vet clinic in Montgomery County, and fire scorches land in Galveston Island. That's some of the top stories tonight. Let's start with that GoFundMe scheme story. Remember Rhoda Osman? We talked about her a few times for the last couple of years. In 2023, she was known as the Brick Lady online. She made claims that a man threw a brick at her head outside of a bar in West Houston because she didn't give him her phone number. Well, she went on to collect $42,000 through a GoFundMe campaign she started after that. Well, a Harris County jury found her guilty of theft. She has to spend 90 days in jail, 10 years probation. She has to pay restitution, 10 years of no social media, which is big for her brand. All right, so let's go to the second story. In Montgomery County, a crazy car crash into a vet.
10 years of no social media because you want to lie. Probation, 90 days in jail, and you got to pay this money back. Can you imagine? And if she gets caught trying to do social media under somebody else's name, she's done. Now, this is the man that was forced.
Her name is Rhoda Osman. Online, she's known as Brick Lady, and her video went viral in 2023. But tonight, she is here in the Harris County Jail after a jury found her guilty of stealing more than $40,000 in a GoFundMe scheme.
This man just hit me in my face with a brick.
The selfie video by Rhoda Osman got millions of likes, but prosecutors say her claims of a man throwing a brick at her head didn't match the evidence.
She kind of made the couple months that happened my life a living hell.
Olin Douglas is the man she told police threw the brick at her outside a Houston bar in 2023. He never got charged, but she did, after raising more than $42,000 online. Now, more than 2 years later, a jury found Osman guilty of theft, deceptively raising all that money.
I'm glad that she didn't get away with just being able to lie. It seems like she gets on social media and just, manipulates and scams people.
Douglas is happy with the jury's verdict. The judge's sentencing plan, even more so. Osmond will have to spend 90 days in jail, according to prosecutors, and pay full restitution. She'll be on probation for 10 years. Any violations could mean she goes to prison. But on top of that, she can't use social media in that 10-year period.
I'd say it's pretty rare.
Defense attorney Joe Venus isn't connected to the case, but says he's never seen a social media ban as a condition of probation.
If somebody's sophisticated enough with social media to commit a crime using social media, I imagine that it's a pretty big part of her life. So it's going to be difficult for her. But as I remind my clients all the time, probation's supposed to be hard.
Consequences Douglas says he hopes Osmond faces after he received death threats, and the case got the internet's attention.
When this happened, it seemed like the world was loud. She had loud supporters. She had loud fans. And I'm just interested, where are y'all now?
We should note the judgment and final conditions of probation have not yet been signed in this case, but additional hearings have been scheduled when that could happen. Osmond's defense attorney has not responded to multiple requests for comments, but based on records, we know they do plan to appeal this conviction. As for how her head ended up looking the way it did, prosecutors tell me the leading theory shared by a detective during the trial is that Osmond fell and hit her head on a car door frame while intoxicated. And as for all the money, bank records revealed it got spent on trips, spas, and ride shares. Reporting downtown, I'm Bryce Newberry, KPRC 2 News.
Not they know all your business and how the money was spent. Good googly my. Listen, you play stupid games, you win stupid prizes. Your 60-second thought on this situation, in my opinion.
I didn't believe her in the first place. Never heard of a man so intoxicated by you that he gonna throw a brick at you for not giving him the number. So I found a story real crappy in the beginning. I think she got what she deserved. She should have got more time than 90 days in jail, though. I really do, because she was out here trying to rally the people up, talking about some. This happened to a black girl. She needed more time. Give her a good 6 months.
No, I totally agree with you, because she was rallying up the people behind her. And I want to say initially I did believe her, and I thought it was a shame. But as time went on, because I'm just like, who would do that to their own face? But now to say they thought she was drunk and fell in a car door and that's what happened, good my. Savannah, your thoughts?
I agree with in my opinion. I think she should have got at least 6 months. She blamed this young man, and there's no restitution for what he went through. I find that highly unfair. So the probation and that this is another reason why people are cautious about donating to GoFundMe's because of scams like this as well. So no, she should at least did 6 months. And I agree, ban her off the internet completely, but she deserves some time.
Yeah. Julius, your thoughts?
Lock her up, let her do the time. That's it. That's all.
Yeah. Katrina, your thoughts?
Maybe when she hit her head with the door, she probably thought somebody did knock her out because she was drunk. But I don't know. I'm not taking up side for her. But it just go to show you, she's getting 90 days in jail, and this man for conning people, and this man getting 40 years for probation won't be in jail. Make that make sense. He should be in jail right along with her, because if she going to jail for 40,000, look how much he and built people out of, and he can get to walk around and for 40 to be on probation for 40 years. This is ridiculous and sad. Like you said, the justice system do not work favorably for everybody. But that's all I got. Both of them need to be in jail. But that's all I got. I'm just thinking she probably hit her head and probably did thought somebody had knocked her out because she was drunk. But when she came back to reality, she should have came out and told the truth. But why do that when people gonna pay you money? It's sad. That's all I got though.
Wayne, your thoughts?
10 years is a long time. I would try to negotiate with the judge. Say, hey, if I get if you give me 2 years instead of 90 days and knock off some of that probation, because that's a long time. And to be for social media, and she can't have no deals on social media. That's just a long time. I hope you try to turn this around and get some education. Because if you ain't gonna make that, if she was making good money on YouTube, I don't think she's gonna walk out on the street and get it. That's it.
Yeah, but you know what though? I'm not mad at them banning her from the YouTube. I'm not saying I didn't mean to say just YouTube, from social media. Period. She took advantage and she manipulated the people. Now I bet you when you get back on there, maybe you be half responsible. Yeah, she trying to appeal, but you know what? I hope her appeal falls right through in the trash. $42,000, and I think the only reason why it ended up and stopped at 42 is because people really started questioning her story. They was like, okay, wait a minute, and she couldn't really produce this man. You just blamed this guy, and this guy went through all that he went through, and you couldn't produce exactly who slapped you upside the head with a brick, and where did this brick just come from out of nowhere? Tay, your thoughts?
She should apologize to that dude. Make up the story right there. Then we will have no problem talking about this right here. Because karma is working. So she got what she got right there. And tell me that hopefully she won't come back on the internet ever again. Find her a real job. And she probably gonna look at the mirror. How do she sleep after that right there? She did not tell the truth right there. How she do not sleep when she look at the mirror like this right here? I should tell the truth, nothing but the truth. Then I will have talk about this at all. Thank you. That's all, Diva.
Well, thank you, Tay. Yeah. Listen, guys, I appreciate y'all coming through for Sunday Night Trending Topics. Much love. I think with this pastor, you know, he got what he got, defrauding the people in the name of God. So now you're gonna be on probation for 40 years, paid back the $270,000, and let's see how this goes. But it seems like this man was defrauding all his life. I don't see him doing well out there in the streets. We're going to see how it goes. The principal, she's another one. I'm sorry. They need to get some charges on her because this is egregious. Not just one person you bought a bunch of books from, several of your friends. I guess they wrote a book and they just came to you. You say, good to go. Matter of fact, she might have told them, write a children's book and I'm going to buy it. I just love to know where all these books are. It's only 600 and something people in the school. Did each person just get a copy of this book? And then you're putting up the size of, she's a mess. And she's a mess. And Hugh Hefner, and you know, he lucked up. He spent what? I think he died at 91 years on this earth, and they never had to face no criminal charges. He's a lucky man. Anyway, guys, I appreciate y'all. Thanks for being here. Y'all know the routine. If you ain't hit that button on the way in, hit the like button on the way out. Good night and goodbye, everybody. Choo choo.
True.
Choo choo.